Alright, Electric Motor Division, Locomotive Service Manual, Section 10, Wheel Slip Control System Testing Settings on the SD45 locomotive. Description: the purpose of the publication is to describe the proceed with the testing of the setting of the wheel slip control system used within the SD40 with the SD45 value of the calibration circuit given within the section locomotive circuit with the manual provided with the charts and graph the drawings, number of the which are in the lower right hand corner of the locomotive wire ground diagram. When performing wheel slip control system testing setting with the necessary use of the chart and graph the drawing in conjunction with the procedure given in this publication, serve the tab with are included within this instruction. These pages provide with the following reference for the drawings to other publications relating to the equipment procedure covered within the instruction release of the routine maintenance of the parts and equipment recommended use for the procedure given in the instruction specification covering the components and circuits. The supplementary information provides in testing and setting procedures. Content of the procedure covered in the instruction as follows: the wheel control relay, wheel slipper relay, pick up the 0 volts via bias the train inductor. Check out the wheel control relay. Wheel slip relay, pick up the voltage by the time delay relay setting, wheel slip bridge circuit with power, dynamic braking, motor field protection, wheel slip transducer qualification maintenance. Preliminary second, if the circuit calibration rheostat the replay for the new components, if the setting were accidentally distributed, making the following preliminary settings: the rheostat 61C with the resistor 61C with the position slideway, the midway with the resistor of the SD40 with the slider with the calibrates wheel slip relay voltage bias. The resistor 62B position slideway midway with the resistor slider calibrates. Pick up of the wheel control relay, the wheel contactor relay, motor protection against the excitation current with the during dynamic braking. Resistor 65A with the position slideway midway with the resistor calibrates the wheel control relay. Pick up the resistor 65B with the position slideway midway, the resistor wheel calibrates wheel slip relay. Pick up the resistor 66B with the position slideway midway, the resistor on the SD45 calibrates wheel slip relay voltage by the resistor 66C position the midway, slider midway with the resistor on the SD45 calibrates the wheel control relay voltage by with the resistor 62B but must be recalibrated if the slider readjusting at any time. Resistor 67B position slideway me with a resistor slide with a non-functional base, the SD45 locomotive with the resistor 62B with must be calibrated if the slider is moved at any time. Alright, your WC or NWS pickup the relay pickup of the 0 volt bias. Wheel slip detection circuit. The first test is adjust with the 0 volt of the relay bias with the cross the terminal C and D with the check and wheel control relay with the pickup not due to the wheel slip relay. Pick up at the terminals A and B with the wheel check of the wheel slip relay. Pick up at the do not isolate with the wheel control relay. Wheel control relay. Pick up at the terminals A and B. Play for the generator field and switch off the down position. Obtain the 300 amp to 75 millivolt shunt spare battery charging ammeter shunt equipped with the local fabricated adapters in Figure 10.1. Figure 10.1 shows the 300 amp to 75 millivolt shunt equipped with the locally fabricated adapter. The thin Teflon epoxy adhesive 2.5 inches. 132 inch, 134 bus strap, the 330 amp, 74 millivolt spare battery charging amp shunter. Note of the above shunt, the shunt we recommend to provide with a good meter of needle detection and accurate reading. However, the comparable to shunt reading, the 0.5 to 1% accuracy may be used. To meter the shunt correct, connect the millivolt meter with the certified with the accuracy of the meter should have the 75 millivolt scale. Actual locomotive circuit breaker panels are located just above the switch and view of the panel. Insert with the telephone plugs metal rods 732 inch, about 3 inches long with the sequence attached jack. These isolate with the base and close the wheel control relay, wheel slip relay. Do not connect the MG set with the design unless the engine control panel, the switch and the open wheel slip control panel is located behind the engine control panel. Disconnect the LOC8 wire with the number 2 terminal with the terminal board 68C with the disconnect with the key with the wheel slip at the time relay disable the automatic sending circuit with the Figure 10.2 with the general location applicable to wires on wheel slip control panel. Connect the 64 volt DC test lamp with the terminal number 2, the terminal 68C. To conveniently number N wire the terminal will light up the give the WCR and WSS wheel slip relay pickups. Alright, you have the multiple wheel shunt adapter, power contactor tips, isolation, 100 watt with 100 watt rheostat, throttle response panel, wire E and N, EW and N, going from then to wheel slip relay 1414 wheel slip relay, wheel control rectifier, brake relay auxiliary control rectifier, 63 and 62, resistor 64, 62, 63, 61, 66, 67, and disconnect transducer conducting test lamp number 9. To provide manual control over the generator section, allow the more accurate determination value within the wheel slip of the wheel creep relay, pick up the disconnect the E wire with the number 1 COM terminal with the throttle response, the panel throttle response relay with the A connect with the manual operated 100 on 100 watt test stat as follows. Also, WCR was wheel creep relay. I'm sorry about that error. Connect one end to the tap of the rheostat convenient with the 9 wire terminal. In the center tap of the rheostat, the end terminal connect the center tap of the rheostat, the number 1 COM terminal throttle response panel, TRP panel. Connect the other end of the test with the rheostat number 1 terminal, the terminal of the A68C board, making a connection with it here to prevent overheating the rheostat during the testing. Do not plug in the load regulator plug. If the engine stops starting the engine, set up the controls under the power, leave the generator field switch in the off to the down position. Leave the isolation switch in the start position. Make it certain that the locomotive under the test is electrically isolated to any other units. Remove the arc chute with the power contactor S14 and insert the power fiber insulating strip between the main contact tips S14. The strip should be thick enough to provide adequate insulation but thin enough to allow the auxiliary contacts to function properly. Make certain that the isolation will not fall into the contactor. Caution, do not replace the arc chutes, but the insulation remains between the power contactor main contacts. Arc chutes are replaced while the contactor is blocked open, but the main generator current will pass through the arc chute magnetic coils and destroy the arc chutes. 11. Remove the arc chute with the power contactor S36 with the plate for the 300 amps to 75 millivolts shown amp adapted between the main contact tips of the S36. Thus, when the idle then with the throttle and idle and the reverse lever in position operation, play for the isolation switch in the run position. The power contactor will close on the shunt adapter straps to open the isolating material. Make certain the locomotive brakes in the set or make certain the shunt isolating strips are in proper position. Place the generator field switch on the on and up position. Play with the throttle in the run 1 position. Test the real swap with the connected with the throttle response panel with the test lamp that comes with the millivoltmeter with the needle falls back with the meter needle will rise when the fall of the wheel grip relay and picks up the drop of the overspeed relay action record of current value of the wheel creep relay pickup. Adjusting the resistor 65A. Reading obtained with the preceding step should agree with the value shown with the section 2 with the chart with the graph with the drawing the wheel creep relay AB pickup with the 0 volts of the bias necessary. Return through the idle, turn the center lap to the test rheostat toward N wire terminal. Make adjust the slider with the resistor E RE65A. Run the throttle to number 1 advance the test rheostat. Check the adjustment, and when the adjustment current record has the meter reading, turn the center tap of the test rheostat toward the N wire terminal. Return the throttle to idle position. Caution, allow tolerance on the operating value with the transducer rectifier fixed to resistor with the circle with the wheel slip with the creep relay. Operating coil may determine the additive of the cause of the wheel creep relay. Pick up the value of the observe the 10 step of the 14, 26 of the 31 to vary with the kick up indicated with the charts and graph. Drawings repeating on the high side but may be accepted if the values fall on the low side. Reset the slider with the RE65 and RE65B to bring the lowest obtain. Make up the value just to pick up the line. Disconnect the ALV8 wire from the number 8 terminal, number 10 terminal with the board 68A. Disconnect the wheel slip with the transducer, the wheel WST24 with the wheels creep with the wheel slip relay operating coils. Verify the WST operation. WST16 operation. Place the throttle number 1 position. Advance the test the rheostat test line comes on with the meter reading with a slightly higher than those obtained the no transducer. Disable to verify the WST with the 16 operation run. The test rheostat center tap of the N wire with the return of the throttle with the idle position. Return the reconnect ALV8 wire to the number 10 terminal board 68A. Disconnect the 10C3 wire from the H terminal with the wheel creep relay to prevent the wheel creep relay picking up the lighting of the test lamp, also with the wheel slip relay. Pick up the lamp, light the lamp, and energize the overspeed relay. Pick up the throttle in the run number 1 position. Advance the test for the rheostat of the test lamp comes on. The millivoltmeter with the needle falls back. Record the current value of the wheel slip pickup. When using the testing setup described here in the generator field, contactor will not drop out. Current dropouts over the overspeed relay driven toward the minimum field position. Generator field dropout may be verified temporarily. Opening the battery contacts the temporary TDF or TDF repeating the wheel slip check. Adjust the rheostat resistor 65B. With the reading obtained with the proceeding with the step with the degree with the value with the charge with the section 2 with the charge with the graph, the drawing with the wheel slip relay A and B, pick up the 0 volt bias. The necessary return the throttle idle back up the tap the rheostat, make the adjustment for the slide resistor RE65B. Return the throttle to run number 1, advance the rheostat, check the adjustment with the readjustment of the recurrent with the return with the center tap of the test, the rheostat, and then wire the terminal, return the throttle to the idle position, recheck the wheel creep relay and wheel slip, pick up the relay. If necessary, the resistor 65 required adjustment, reconnecting the IOC 3 wire the HG terminal wheel creep relay. Repeat the wheel creep relay. Pick up the trick with the wheel creep relay. Pickup is out of all out tolerance. Readjust the resistor 65A. Check the adjustment when the disconnecting 10C3 wires from wheel creep relay. Recheck the readjustment wheel slip pickup. If necessary, repeat the procedure until the wheel slip pickup within tolerance required. No readjustments. Advance the test rheostat slightly after making the previous check. With this will provide the sufficient current with the wheel creep relay, wheel slip relay pickup during the following transducer checkout. Transducer checkout. Reconnect the 10C3 wire with the H terminal wheel creep relay. Place the isolation switch in the isolation position. Power contactors will open and remove the isolation between the S14 contact tip. Replace the arc chute with the S14. Remove the number 2 electrical cabinet located with the engine room. Remove the arc chute power contactor S25. Replace the insulation strip with the S25 to main contact tips. Return the locomotive cabinet and place the insulation switch in the run position. Replace the throttle in the run number 1 position. Millivolt meter needed to the wheel rise and fall with the pickup of the wheel creep relay with the wheel reading shall be agreed with the recording of step 14 with the throttle to the idle position. Disconnect the ALV wire with the terminal number 10 with the terminal board 68A with the disconnect with the wheel sleep transducer WST24 with the wheel slip with the wheel creep relay operating coils. Verify the WST with 35 operating. Bank throttle to run 1 position. The running should be slightly higher than the other time. No transducer. If the wheel slip transducer disabled, verify the wheel slip transducer 35 operating throttle idle position. Reconnect the ALV 8 wire to the number 10 terminal of the board 68A. The isolation switch in the isolation in position. Remove the 300 ampere shunt after the SD45 to replace the arc chute and the SD45. Remove the arc chute with the SD45 and insert the shunt adapter between the main contact tips. Return the isolation switch to the run position. Place the throttle run with the 1 position meter reading. It should be agreed with the record recorded in step 14. Return the throttle to idle in position. Verify the wheel slip transducer 24 operation. Disconnect the ALF wire, the ALF 8 wire with the terminal number 5 terminal with the 68C board. And place the throttle in the run 1 position. Meter reading of the slightly higher than the obtained previous step. Return the throttle in the idle position to connect the ALF 8 wire with the verify the wheel slip transducer 24 operation. 33. Turn the center of the tap, the rheostat backwards toward the in-wire terminal wheel creep relay. Pick up the valve will differ significantly. One of the transducers perform the transductor qualification procedure for the given section of the locomotive manual. Faulty transducers must be replaced with the qualified transducer circuit check repeated. After transducers check it out, allow the test of the setup of the remaining proceed the wheel creep relay, wheel slip relay, pick up with the check with the voltage bias applied with the CD coils. Wheel creep relay and wheel slip relay pick up the become the voltage bias. Also test the setup of the remain as well as the last half of the transducer check out and performing following. Connect the output of the leads with the MG with the set with the plug of the rod if the test jack have to connect the 0 to 1500 volt DC voltmeter with the read the MG set valve with the adjust the MG set with the obtain the voltage stipulated with the section 2 charts and the graph is rolling. Apply the voltage through the 2 minutes of the warm circuit with the component with the reduce the voltage to 0. On the basic model with the SD45 locomotive the AS the curve with the wheel creep relay is not connected. On such a locomotive disregard the following step 36 through 39. Play for the throttle number 1 position of the van for the test rheostat obtain with the current differential 98 amp. Raise the MG set valve until the test lamp comes on. Record the voltage value as the test lamp comes on to indicate the wheel creep relay. Pick up the millivolt meter needle will advance to the given point and follow back to the over the speed relay. Drive the load regulator back to the toward minimum field position. Note, the voltage bias for the mayhole of the wheel creep relay picked up even after the current differential has dropped in such that the meter needle will not swing back and forth. Reduce the MG set valve to the drop of the wheel current relay after each check. Adjust resistor 66C with Reading obtained with the preceding step, you agree with the value of the shown in section 22 with the charts on the graph of the drawing with the wheel creep relay. Pick up the voltage necessary to reduce the MG set voltage. Make the adjustment slide of the resistor RE66C with reapply the MG set voltage to check the adjustment. Return the throttle to idle position. Return to the 3-test rheostat center tap back to the N-wire terminal. Disconnect the 10C3 wire with the H terminal of the wheel creep relay. This prevents the wheel creep relay picking with the energized overspeed relay. Will allow the wheel slip pick up the energized of the overspeed relay. This step is not necessary to base on the basic SD45 locomotive. Adjust the MG set value of the voltage to obtain the basic voltage stipulated with the section 2 chart over the graph of the drawing with the components of the warm. Reduce the voltage to 0. Place the throttle and run in one position, advance the rheostat, determine the current differential to indicate the charging volt graph of the drawing with a 1000 volt MG set voltage of the test lap that comes with the record the voltage value of the test light comes with the only indicate the wheel slip. Pick up the millivoltmeter need will be advanced at a given point, then fall back the overspeed relay drives the load regulator back towards minimum field position and reduce the MG set value voltage. Adjust the resistor 61C on the SC40 and adjust the RE resistor 66B on the SC45. Reading of obtained proceeding with the top shift agree with the value of the section with the 2 chart for the graphic drawing with the wheel slip pick up with the voltage bay if necessary to reduce the MG set voltage. Make adjustment slide with the resistor RE61C or RE66B with the applicable reply the MG set with the voltage recheck and adjustment. Reduce the MG set voltage to 0 and throttle with the L position. Turn the 3-test rheostat center to the N wire terminal. Return the locomotive circuit to the normal operation condition, performing the following. Place the isolation switch in isolation position with the generator the field switch in the off-down position. Disconnect the MG set with the remove the plugs and rods for the test jack. Reconnect the 10C3 wire with the H with the wheel creep relay. If it was disconnect the disconnect the test lap. Reconnect the 10C8 wire with the number 2 terminal of the terminal board 60AC. Disconnect the 100 ohm 100 watt and test result with the throttle response for the throttle response relay panel. Reconnect the W wire with the throttle response relay A number 1 COM terminal. Remove the insulation from the between the S25 main contact tips. Replace the arc chute. Do not replace the arc chute. The insulation remains with the main contact tips. Remove the 300 ampere shunt with the adapter between the main contact of the tips. The S14. Replace the arc chute. After wheel slip settings have been checked, produce the time delay relay settings. Timing delay over O and time delay OF. The value resettings. Alright, wheel slip control system several times. The delay relay single core air dash spot relay must be equipped with the set with the immediate response contact addition when the time delay contact. The contact will be delayed. Action may be either immediately pick up with the delay period, the dropout through the delay, pick up with the immediate dropout delay, may be set with the fraction of the second, with a second fraction of the second, or several minutes with the turning of the kernel knob on the relay timer unit. The following general procedures may be used with the setting of the time delay. The time delay period is given in the chart and graphic drawing with the time value to give the measurement of one complete cycle of the relay, pick up the dropout. Timing unit adjustment. Do not use the complete term of the relay timing knob to change the timing setting with the specific amount of the accurate relay settings that can be made with the counting of the turns for the time of the setting of the knob. The wheel slip control system uses the following time delay. So TDO, time delay overriding solenoid. This relay times the period during which the wheel creep relay action drives the load regulator towards the minimum field position. TDF, time delay generator field. The relay prevents the dropout with the generator field contact of the brief period in order to the wheel creep relay action correct the tendency or slip. TDS, the time delay standing. This relay times the application setting of the rail whenever the wheel slip of the creep relay picks up. Test setup. To test and adjust the time relays to the locomotive, on the locomotive perform the following. Determine the inspection when set with the relay contact with the delay with the action with the which the relay is equipped with immediately respond to the disconnect of the tape at the back of the wall. The wire is delayed. Again, contact from the relay magnet valve. The disconnect of the GFE wire from the transition sequence forward with the transition switch with the connect of the electrician jumper wire. The terminal vacated by the GFE wire to provide source of 64 volts. The DC connect with the push button snap switch. Connect the other end electrical jumper to the magnet core with the relay to be tested. Figure 10.3. 4. Connect with the jumper wire with the magnet. Jumper wire with the remaining open terminal relay magnet core with the open contact the normally closed side of the time delay contact assembly. 5. Connect one of the lead from the 64-volt test lamp with the contact of the normally open side of the time delay contact assembly. Contact the other lead with the convenient PA wire terminal. Contact the conventional NA wire of the terminal will indicate with the figure 10.3. Make certain that the positive and negative circuit path are complete with the turning of the transition sequence of the switch of the test position. Press the forward transition switch relay under the test cycle with the test light and the relay clicks. Indicate the time period with the relay. Allow the relay to cycle to 10 and 30 times, and with the stopwatch measure the time. Adjust the commute, the relay time, and the acknowledge. Adjust the kernel need with the recheck of the time in the figure 10.3. Relay time to set. Note that a large number of the cycles should be used to calculate short time of the intervals. Long periods can be set accurately without cycling the relay. When adjusting this record, check the current correctly. See the adjustment now to prevent the invert in the movement. Return the circuit to normal operation. Return the transition sequence of the switch to the position of the normal locomotive operation. Disconnect the electric transition jumper generate. Reconnect the GFE wire of the transition sequence panel forward switch, and D. Reconnect the wire of the timing interlock magnet coil in accordance with the locomotive wire diagram. Your wheel slip bridge circuits. The wheel slip bridge circuits to WS14, wheel slip bridge circuit 14, and wheel slip bridge circuit 36. Connect the bridge circuits with the traction motors during the series of the parallel operation, but under the power of the during dynamic brake, the circuit might require no adjustment, but under the but operation should be checked with the intervals stipulated with the scheduled maintenance program when the trouble is suspected. The installation and call the strip of the insulating material placed between the contact tip of the strip should be thick with enough to provide adequate insulation, but thin enough to allow the auxiliary contact to function properly with the strip that should be long enough to prevent them from dropping into the switchgear mechanism. For the R chute, for the power of the contactors must be replaced, for the insulation remains between the main contact tips. Bridge circuit test setup. If the locomotive engine remain with the running with the move of the generator field fuse, with the disconnect of the 10C8 wire with the number 2 terminal board 68C with the disconnected wheel slip bridge circuit 14 and 36 from the wheel slip time delays. Wheel slip WS14 circuit check, figure 1014. On units equipped with a dynamic brake, remove the fiberglass top of the cover, the insert of the insulating strip, of the move of the movable contact tip, of the stationary contact tip, of the transfer is followed. Add the number to an electrical cabinet, place the strip of the contact number 1, left the rear with the transfer switch to M412. Add the number 2 electrical cabinet, place the strip of the contact number 1, left rear transfer switch to M45. On the units equipped with a dynamic brake, remove the fiberglass top of the cover, the insert of the insulation strip between the movable contact tip of the stationary contact tip, of the reverser switch of the valves. Add the number 1 electrical cabinet. Place the strip of the contact number 4 right in the rear of the reverser RF1. At the number 2 electrical cabinet, place the strip of the contact number 2 at the left front of the reverser RVR4. At number 1 electrical cabinet with the R chute with the power contactor S14, place the insulation strip with the main contacts connect. 1 lead 64-volt test lamp to the terminal B with the wheel slip wheel circuit 14. Connect with the other lamp with the lead with the convenient negative. The lamp will come on when the wheel circuit of the 14 picks up. Connect with the input with the MG set with a 74-volt DC until connect the 150-volt DC volt with the reading of the MG set output. Connect the positive output lead with the MG set with the stationary rear of the contact tip of the power contactor S14. Wheel slip 1014, wheel slip testing indicator, main barrier switch, RVR4, 1, RVR4, wheel slip 14, okay, make certain that the generator field fuses have been removed to the set with the locomotive control of the operation over the power plate for the reverse lever and forward position, plate for the throttle and the run position. When you put the testing set up here with the necessary unit with the non-equipped with the dynamic brakes to have the reverse lever the portion position forward toward the short of the hood operation. Connect the negative output lead with the MG set with the move of the terminal power contactor S14 and move at the MG set volt with the tap of the locomotive lamp comes on, but then reduce the MG set volt with the test lamp that should come on the voltage value with indicating the section 2 of the chart with the graphic drawing of the wheel slip. Wheel slips circuit 14 pick up the light which should go off with indicating the percent of the pick up the value. When the test is followed when it's complete, restore the circuit of the normal operation condition. Perform the following: plate for the throttle idle position, center of the reverser, reduce the MG set and the valve into 0 to discount for the MG set. Move the insulation strip of the replace the fiberglass cover the transfer switch for the M14 M45 and reverser switches RVF1 RVR4 if applicable. Move the insulation strip of the main between the power contactor S14 main contact tips to replace the arc chute. Caution: do not replace the arc chute until the insulation strip has been removed. If the wheel slip circuit 36 and wheel slip 20 circuit 25. The circuit checks that may be made with this timeline allow the 10C8 wire to remain disconnected to the TB68C2. We're going to pause this for a second. Alright, the wheel slip relay circuit 36 circuit check with the figure 10.5. On the units equipped with the dynamic brake, remove the fiberglass top of the cover, the strip of the insulation strip between the movable contact tip of the stationary contact tip of the transfer switch as follows. The number 1 electrical cabinet, place the strip of the contact number 2 left front with the transfer switch V3. At the number 2 electrical cabinet, place the strip of the contact number 2 left front with the transfer switch B6. Okay, on the units equipped with the dynamic brakes, remove the fiberglass top of the cover, the insert of the insulating strip, remove the contact tip of the stationary contact tip of the reverser switch as follows. At the number 1 electrical cabinet, place the strip of the contact number 1 left rear with the reverser switch RVF3. At the number 2 electrical cabinet, place the strip of the contact number 2 left front with the reverser switch with RVR6. At number 1 electrical cabinet, remove the R tube with the power contactor strip S36 to play for the insulating strip between the main contact strips. Connect one of the lead 64-volt test bolt lamp with the terminal B with the relay with the wheel slip circuit 30 wheel slip relay circuit 36. The other lead with the green and negative of the N wire with the lamp will come on with the wheel slip circuit with the 36 picks up the connect. The input lead with the MG set with a 74-volt DC connect the 0 to 150-volt DC voltmeter with the green. The MG set output connect with the positive output lead for the MG set with the stationary rear of the contact tip of the power contactor S36. Make certain with the generator field fuse that maybe have been removed the set with the locomotive control of the operation under the power plate for the reversal level in the forward position, plate for the throttle in the run one position. Caution when using the testing set with the described here in the necessary of the unit that not equipped with the dynamic brakes to have the reversal level position and for the forward toward the short hood operation connect. The negative output lead with the MG for the move of the front with the terminal power contactor F36 with the apply with the MG voltage G with the test lamp that comes on with the reduce the MG set with the voltage 0 with the test lamp come on the value over the voltage indicating section 2 with the chapter graphically drawing the 4 wheel slip relay circuit 36 pickup that under the test condition light should go off at the indication percentage of the pickup value. 24. When the test is complete, restore the circuit to normal operation condition. Perform the following: place the throttle in idle position. Remove the reserver. Reduce the MG set voltage to 0. The disconnect the MG set. Remove the insulating stripe. Replace with the fiberglass transfer switch. The B3 and B6 with the reverser switch. The RVF3 and RVR6. As applicable, remove the insulation strip between the power contactor S36 and main with the contacts. Replace the R chute. Replace the R chute with wheel slip 25 circuit. And check if it is made at the time. Allow the LOB8 wire to remain and disconnect the TB68C. Alright, wheel slip 25 circuit check. The figure 10.6 of the units equipped with the dynamic brake with the remove of the fiberglass top of the cover to insert the isolation strip between the move of the contact of the tips and the stationary contact strip transfer switch. This is a follow. At number 1 electrical cabinet, place the strip of the contact number 4 in the right relay transfer the switch to the M12. The number 2 electrical cabinet, place the strip of the contact number 4 right rear with the transfer the switch to the M45. Open the unit equipped with the dynamic brake, remove the fiberglass top of the cover insulation, isolating the strip, the move of the contact strip of the stationary contact the reverse switch as follows. The number 1 electrical cabinet, replace the strip of contact with the number 4 right rear of the reverser of the RVR2. At the number 2 electrical cabinet, place the strip of the contact number 5 of the right with the reverser RVR4. Figure name 4 for the W224 test setup. At the number 2 electrical cabinet, remove the R tube with the power contactor S25 plate for the insulation strip between the main contactor tip. At the number 2 electrical cabinet, disconnect the 10C tube with the wire with the bottom of the number 4 terminal board 92 with the terminal 1 connected lead with the 64-volt less lamp with the terminal just located with the 10C tube wire to connect the other lead with the test of the lamp with the convenient negative of this will prevent the wheel slip 25 circuit to pick up the range drive of the wheel slip time and delay relays and test lamp will indicate the wheel slip 25 circuit is picked up. Connect the input lead with the MG set with a 74-volt DC with the connect with 0 to 150-volt DC with the voltmeter with the reading of the MG set output. 74-volt positive must be obtained. At the top of the number 1 terminal board 98.3 with the negative may be obtained at the bottom number 1 terminal board 93. Connect the positive output lead from the MG set with the stationary rear contact with the tip of the power contactor S25. Make certain the generator field fuse that have been removed the set with the locomotive control for the operation under the power plate. The reverse level in the forward position. Plate for the throttle in the run 1 position. Caution when you the test setup of the described here in the event of the unit with the equipment the dynamic brakes have the reversal level the position with the forward toward the short head of the operation. Connect the negative output lead with the MG set with the movable the front contact with the tip power contactor S25. Below the MG set value until the test lamp comes on, then reduce the MG set value to 0. The list should come on at the voltage indicated with the section with the 2. Chart graph drawing with the WC25 with the pickup on test conditions. With the test complete, restore the circuit to the normal operation condition. Perform the following to reduce the main MG set value with a 0 with the disconnect of the MG set. Remove the isolation strip between the power contactor S25 main contactor tip. Assemble the replace the outer the disconnect of the test lamp. Reconnect the 10C 2 wire TB92B4. Remove the insulation stripping of the replace the fiber gas. Cover the transfer switch M12 and M45. Reverser switches RVF2 and RVR5 is applicable to maintain the idle position. Contact the reverser. Reconnect the 10C8 wire to the number 2 terminal board 60AC. Replace with the generator field fuses. Motor field protection. Defective control circuit that determine the dynamic braking can cause excessive current, damage, traction, and motor. Protective circuit under the circumstances will cover the wheel corrective the relay and wheel creep relay to pick up the defect of the control result with the high generated voltage. Wheel creep relay picks up the dominant dynamic braking and remove the excitation for the main generator. Testing in the motor field power protective circuit with the normal wheel slip pickup that should be calibrated with the motor field protective circuit calibrated performing the following check of the protective circuit. On the basic of the model of the SD45 local, the main basic with going with the wheel creep relay is not connected during the operation of the current power of the therefore the circuit is not calibrated. Resistor 67B should be centered in such a case. Remove the generator of the field fuse. Make a 64-volt test lamp with the across the generator field contactor magnetic coil to place the telephone plugs of the 732-inch metal plug for the sequence. The test jack connect with the output leads to the MG set of the plug and rods. Connect with the 0 to 150 volt DC to read the MG set voltage. Set up the locomotive control the dynamic braking test lamp will come on. And while the braking lever of the throttle with the advanced 13 degrees, increase the MG set voltage, observe the voltage value of the test lamp. If it goes off, reduce the voltage, observe the value of the lamp comes back on. Adjust the resistor 62B with the voltage for the wheel creep relay picked up with the drop that should be agreed with the value shown in section A with the chart graph with the drawing of the motor field current limiting during the dynamic braking. If necessary, they reduce the MG set with the value of voltage 0. Make adjustment with the slide of the resistor 62B. Loosen up the MG set voltmeter with the plug with the rods and test track will return the locomotive with control of the normal operation conditions. Test and replace the generator field fuse. Wheel slip transducer qualification. Wheel slip of the control circuit of the test with the outline with the publication indicated that the aim of the wheel transducers will not function properly with the transducer relay of the rectifier should be tapped with the windings can be checked with the open the rectifier should be checked short with any of the almeter of the insulation variable on the windings ground with the check the marriage for the caution when the marriage side the extreme cost for the static electrical components are not subject to the high potential. Check with the shorted windings of the qualifying transducer. The following procedure: isolate the locomotive unit, place the generator field switch in the off and down position. Make certain the signal of the that unit under the test will not be transmitted otherwise. Alright, your wheel slipping transducer qualification test throttle response, rheostat, terminal board, AC fan, silicone rectifier, basic brake, forward and backward contactors, transducers, terminal board. Yeah. Alright, disconnect the 6F wire with the number 1 terminal board 68C with the wheel slip panel with the engine control panel hinge with the disable the transducer wheel slip control circuits. Disconnect the AL1 wire for the number 7 of the terminal board 68A with the disconnect the D14 alternator from the wheel slip transducer. Disconnect the AL33 wire with the one with the following from the number 3 with the terminal field with the current transducer, the FCT with the SD45 locomotive from the S terminal with the B from the S terminal with the brake, the current braking current transducer, or the SD45 with the locomotive equipped with the extend with the range of the dynamic brakes. From the AC terminal with the control of the rectifier, silicone rectifier, back upright with the corner of the electrical cabinet of the SD45 with equipped with the basic dynamic brake with the no dynamic brake with the retighten the terminal bolt on the AL32 cable during the test. Disconnect the AL36 wire for the number 1 terminal no voltage relay. NVR, connect the outlet lead on the auto transform the relay to 5 ampere to the AL36 wire. Connect the 0 to 3 ampere to the AC ammeter. The second output terminal with the auto transform the 8. Connect the other ammeter lead to 25 ohm 100 watt resistor. Connect the 150 amp AC volt with the read of the auto transistor auto voltage. Disconnect the E wire from the number 1 to the common terminal with the throttle response panel relay A. Connect one lead manually operated with the 100 watt 100 ohm rheostat number 1 terminal with the 60 AC with the previous vacuum with the 65 wire with the connect the second wire with the rheostat negative with the indicator the figure number 10.7 to the center tap of the negative terminal. Connect with the rheostat center tap of the number 1 common terminal throttle with the response panel relay A provides the means of controlling the alternator AR10 general output. Connect the auto transformer 60 cycle to 110 volt AC power, but let the power remain switched off. If necessary, start the engine, start the diesel engine, start up the control of the operation under the power of the isolation switch, remain in the isolation position, play for the reversal level in the operation position, play for the selector level in the number 1 position. Your wheel slip transducer 16 check. Disconnect the ALG wire with the number 9 terminal board SKAA. Connect the ALG wire with the free lead with a 25 ohm 400 watt resistor. Remove the arc chute with the power with the contactor S36. Replace the strip of the insulate with the material between the main contact tip. The material should be thick enough to provide efficient insulation, but thin enough to allow the auxiliary interlocks to function properly. Remove the arc chute with the power with the contactor 514 to play for 300 amp volt, 74 millivolt shunt with the equipped with the locally fabricated adapter figure 10.1 for the maintain the main contact tips. Please play isolation switch in the run position. Power contactor will clamp the code for the isolation with the shunt adapter switch for the power to the tube and power to the auto transformer. The adjust the device with the 90 volt output to make certain that the locomotive brakes are set to hard. Place the throttle in the run position. Operate the 100 ohm, the 100 watt test for the rheostat to obtain the 100 amp of the current with the number 1 and number 4 motor. To refer the wheel slip of the transducer, give them the surface of the data page for the compare the motor current, the AC amperes. The AC amperage should be well within the talents for the indicate with the current on the graph. Caution: path of the current with the stalled motor short of the time of practical. Increase the current with the 250 amp to begin with the use of the relay AC amp of the motor current. Readjust the auto transformer for 90 volt necessary. Return the motor current to 0, and as soon as the check is made with the return the throttle to the auto position, turn the auto transformer to 0 volt. Output with switch the output power supply. The isolation switch to the isolation position. Perform the following: move the isolation for the between 736 maintain contact tip to play for the arc chute. Reconnect the ALG 8 wire with the TB68A 9. Allow the 300 ampere shunt to adapter to remain in place. Check the wheel slip transducer 24, wheel slip transducer 35. Same with the manner of the wheel slip transducer 16. Use the table A with the proper setup with place the throttle idle position. Switch it off the auto transformer. Place the isolation switch in the isolation position before making any of the changes to test setup. Transistor to be checked. The power contactors S36, S35, S14. Removable wire connects the AC wire to the 90 volt through the 25 on wire. Alright, after the transducer check was completed, return the circuit to normal. Operate the condition performing the following with the place with the throttle idle position isolation unit. Turn the auto transformer to 0. Output the disconnect the supply. Disconnect the auto transformer to output lead for the locomotive wire. Reconnect the AL30 wire to the terminal number 1 and no voltage relay. Reconnect the AL wire to either the FCT or the BCT terminal. Backward control throttle and the silicone rectifier terminal AC fan contactor at 3 AC3 as applicable. Disconnect the 100 ohm 100 watt test rheostat TB68C1. Reconnect 6F4 wire to the TB68C. Reconnect the AL1 wire to the TB68A. Disconnect the type of the test reset with the throttle response panel. Reconnect the EW wire to the number 1 common terminal throttle response panel relay A. Remove the 300 amperes shown with the adapter power contactor. Play with the arc chute. Remove the insulation between the power contactor main contact plates and replace the arc chute. Alright, your service data charts. The basics SD40 and charts and SD45 charts, graphic, no locomotives, wheel slip relay, time relays, my routine maintenance parts, millimeter, AC volt 0 to 600 volts, on meter, main motor generator set 64 volt, in volt, 12 volt, output motor operatable, 100 ohm, 100 watt tampered wire wound type. Regulator reset 300 ampere to 75 volt millishunt spare battery charging ampere shut. Test lamp 64 volt 120 volt AC DC 8-foot leads alligator clips. Foam plugs for metal rod 732 to 3 inches. Jump wire equipped with the fashion tab. Jump wires equipped with the alligator clips. Auto transformer 5 ampere rating. Relay wheel, grip relay, or wheel slip, coil resistant, AB coil 44 ohms plus or minus 10%, CD coil 220 ohms plus or minus 10%. Pickup AB coil terminal A plus polarity 260 to 222 milliamperes. CD coil terminal B plus polarity 640 to 69 milliamperes, 664 to 69 milliamperes. Drop out AB coil 122 to 142 milliamperes. CD coil 38 to 44 milliamperes. Note the magnetic arc flow for the effective terminal GH must be plus polarity. Relay wheel slip, relay wheel circuit 14, fit 25 and 36. Coil resistant 1060 ohms, 10 plus or minus 10%. Pickup 12 to 14 milliamperes. Dropout 60% with the pickup. Relay time delay. Over speed, level generator field and speedometer 10, plus or minus 10%. Coil resistant 480 ohms. Pickup 48 volts DC. Maximum dropout between 5 and 28 volts DC. Time rating 0.2 tenths of a second to 3.3 minutes. And then it shows the wheel transistor qualification curve transducers. The AC ampere and transducer windings over the amperes motor current, and then that was the last page. This was actually the reading of the Locomotive Service Manual, Section 10, Wheel Slip Control System and Testing Setting, Electric Motor Division, SD45.